Eve Nation, let's do it. Happy Friday. Friday. This is going to be a special episode. I'm bringing in my friend Mark Jigger. Did I say that weird? I think I said that weird. Anyway, leave your, or no, let's put ask us questions. Ask us your questions. Ask us your questions. This is going to be fun. Let's go. All right. Okay, we pinned it. Antonio, let's go in the house. Just as I said, let's go. I love it. Okay. Let's bring him in. See what he's got for us today. Bum, 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 bum. Waiting for Mark Drager.
You said
There
it
he is.
weird. You made it weird.
What? Did I say it weird?
You said like Draber.
Well, didn't in one of our videos I forget your name or something?
One of our videos, Evan.
Draper. I called you Draper.
Yes. We did a 10-part series on building a $1 million plus company. And in the opening introduction, you flubbed my name.
Yeah, and we kept it in. I was so happy. I told my editor, like, keep that in. We're not redoing that. Stop touching your microphone. It crackles like a
I'm just
mofo.
turning it down because you're very loud right now.
Okay, well, you're crackling like a beast. Turn it down on your phone, not on your. Oh my gosh, I apologize.
There.
We're gonna have to kick Draper off the show. He keeps doing that. Okay,
How you
pop
doing?
your questions. Oh, are we doing this? Okay, I thought we were going to
No.
questions.
Questions. It's questions answer, but I was just transitioning. Welcome to the Something to Prove podcast. It's a very special bonus episode. I just grabbed a piece of paper towel, and for some reason, there's a message on it. That's weird, eh? It says the pool guy wants you. I don't know what that's about. My daughter must have come down here at some point and written on a piece of paper towel because I was just going to do this. But anyway, that's
This
weird.
is why I
Secret
don't.
messages, right?
This is why I don't want to have a house. I don't want to deal with the pool guy. I'm
The
so
pool
happy.
guy? No, I don't.
All of the
This is not. This
maintenance.
is from like weeks ago. But yes, apparently the pool
Still,
guy. Our
just
heater stopped
the
working. I had to get
maintenance.
the pool guy to come, and he had to come in. Yeah.
Oh, this is why you don't have a house. This is why you go condo, people.
Except for I can swim in my pool. You can't swim in your pool right now, right? Because of COVID.
Wow. Okay, so great. So it's awesome. First off, my pool is saltwater,
Yeah.
Draker. Second, great. So the reason to have a house and to build your own pool is so that for
Hmm.
the next pandemic that happens,
You could go
you can go
swimming.
swimming on by your own in an outdoor pool that is not heated during the winter. Come over to my place, Drager. We can
I do
swim
that.
24/7.
We came over to your place. It's the best of both worlds.
365. Fan.
Okay. Q&A. Q&A. Shall we go?
Here we
Shall
go.
we?
How to start a business, says Miriam.
Well, the
Oh, okay, hold on. Wait, more specifically, how to
okay.
know that your business is going to work and find it place in the market. So how to
Find the
start a
place
business
in
and
the
know it's going to work.
So the best thing that you can really do is start really small, right? Whether it's a product, whether it's a service, no matter what you want to do, you want to start small because the smaller you are, the faster you can iterate, the more intimate. Like you're going to actually talk to your customers. You're actually going to listen to what they have to say. You're going to learn what they like and don't like. You're going to test your assumptions. And when you think big, it's too big. When you think at scale, you need too many resources. When you separate yourself from the customers and don't really listen to the feedback or don't really look at the data, you're not going to learn. You're going to be slow and you're going to die. And so just start smaller than you're comfortable with. What are you laughing about?
You're not going to learn, you're going to be slow, and you're going to die. Mark Drager, Friday Wisdom, fam. Wow. Okay, keep going.
Start smaller than you're comfortable with. Try things, test things. Don't be afraid to look foolish in front of people, and then listen to what people have to say. That's the best way to succeed.
Oh, man, that was awesome. Didn't think we'd be talking death on the Something to Prove podcast with Mark Drager, but he's in the mood today. He has to go see the pool, man.
I'm getting a new motorcycle for me dropped off in about 40 minutes, so I'm excited about that.
I didn't even know you had a license.
Yeah, I have a motorcycle. I have a license. I
Okay.
got my license 3 years ago because it scared me. And when my grandmother got really sick and was passing away, I thought I can't let this thing that scares me stop me from doing something I've wanted to do for 20 years. So I went and got it. I've had a motorcycle for a few years, and then I bought another one, and they're dropping it off at 3 o'clock today.
All right, let's go. Okay, Miriam, I would say you're trying to be too perfect. You're trying to pick the perfect business plan and the perfect market, and you just won't know until you do it. And even when you start doing it, you're probably going to suck. my first speech to help entrepreneurs was to 3 people at a YMCA that was for free, and I never thought I was going to make money doing it. So the trick to having success in business is combining what you love doing with where there's demand and you're solving a problem, right? It's always that combination: what you love plus where there's demand and you're solving a problem. But to think that you can plan it all out right now from the beginning, you're not going to. It's just not going to happen. You're going to make tons of mistakes. So don't worry about knowing if the market's going to be there or not. You start and you try to find people who have a problem that you can solve, that you actually enjoy fixing and don't see it as an issue. And that's the start of your business. Go. Overthinking. Don't overthink. Somebody's asking, do we bicker?
Yes,
do you guys
we do.
bicker? Do we bicker ever? That's the question.
We bicker about everything. We're like an old married couple.
Wow. All right. Great.
You
Okay.
won't bicker about that? I can't get you to bicker about whether we bicker.
It's just, I find that it's an interesting question. Like that's a funny question to bring up. Okay. Anyway, Omar, is it unrealistic? Is it an unrealistic goal to become a millionaire in 3 years? I'm $1 million in debt and broke, and I want to start a new business.
No, I don't think it's unrealistic. I think anything like this is really, really hard. So it's not a question. I don't think you should be asking yourself, is it realistic or unrealistic? I think you should be asking yourself, why this goal? Like for me, if I was $1 million in debt, my first goal would be to generate wealth to service that debt, get myself back to break even, and then if I'm able to pay off $1 million in debt with whatever window of time that is, I would just then apply that same window to earn $1 million of profit and earn the next $1 million of profit and so on. So if you think you can get yourself $1 million out of debt in a year, then by year 2, you should have $1 million profit or gross, right? By year 3, you should have 2 million. Now you're a millionaire in 3 years. But this isn't a question of what's realistic or unrealistic. It's a question of how hard you want to work and why are you focused on becoming a millionaire if you're $1 million in debt. And from my point of view, I would be focusing on how do I service that debt, or how do I turn this around? How do I build momentum in the right way? And then take all of the hard lessons you learn while getting yourself out of debt and then apply those to generating wealth afterwards.
I just don't think this way. I mean, 1, 3 years is just so far away. 2, having your goal to be a millionaire, I think is ridiculous. You don't know what you're capable of. I mean, the practical short-term solution is what Mark said. Okay, you have $1 million in debt. Focus on getting out of that hole. But then where are you going to be in 3 years? I don't know.
Can I share something that may
Mark,
help or may not help?
Share.
Well, no, this is uncomfortable for me. I've never talked about this or told anyone this before.
Ooh,
So
we got an exclusive. The scoop is here.
I money is really important to me, and even though it's not my main motivating factor, it's still really important to me. And I've had $1 million in cash, and I didn't realize that I had it. I was working.
You have $1 million in cash.
How did I not realize I had $1 million in cash? Because we have all kinds of really large cash flow things, and so we're carrying a lot of cash on hand. And there was a time, because I don't really look. Hey, Evan, I asked you last week how things are going for money, and you said I haven't looked at stocks in a long time.
Yeah.
I don't always calculate my personal wealth versus my business cash versus this or versus that. And I realized one time I was randomly calculating stuff to talk to my bank, and I went, oh, I have more than $1 million between these things. And that was a goal that I really had for a very long time. And in that moment, I went, I have no one to tell that I've hit my goal. And at the same time, it was completely meaningless. It didn't change anything for me. And I wanted it. I thought it was going to change something. I thought I was going to be more comfortable. I thought I was going to be able to go buy things. I thought things were going to yeah, I've got this thing and things are going to change, and nothing changed. I had hit the goal, who knows how much, 6 months earlier, 3 months earlier, not even realized it. And then when I did, it still didn't change my ambition. It still didn't change my goals. It still didn't change what I wanted to do. And I'm not trying to brag or anything. It was just this completely fleeting thing. And I wanted it to be a really big thing. I thought it was going to be a really big thing. And when it happened, it wasn't at all. And it didn't change anything. And, our economies have changed and things have changed since then. I've learned that you can lose money as well. So it's not it's not always, maybe sustainable wealth is what you're really going for, but I can tell you that just that number, I thought it would mean something to me, and it didn't change anything.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So you led that part saying, money's really important to me. It's important to me too. I didn't come and say, hey, money's not important. I think the idea that that's your goal is short-sighted, is ridiculous, is small thinking, shouldn't be the focus. To Mark's story, to Mark's point, I don't even remember. I don't remember when looking at my bank account and like, oh, $1 million, that's awesome. But money's important. I mean, Mark and I are meeting, I don't know, at least once a week talking about my campaigns, and I'm hammering down like, how's our cost per acquisition? How much money are we making on these funnels? And right, it's important. But to have that be your goal, I think is a disservice to you. I think it's a service to what you can create. There was I was watching a clip yesterday. Tom Bill, you had Peter Diamandis. Have you seen this one? Stephen Kotler, Peter Diamandis on his conversations with Tom?
I'm more about topics because I listen, so I don't ever hear the people's names really. So what was the topic?
Future, they have a new book. I forget. I had them both on my channel too. I forget the name of the book. Anyway, they're futurists, right? The future is faster than you think, something like that. Anyway, Tom was talking about, he used to work with a bunch of inner city kids and hiring a bunch of people, and he would ask the magic genie question. Have you heard this one? Tom's magic genie question?
Yeah.
Okay, so like you could ask for anything you want in the world. What would you want? It can't be extra wishes, and it can't be to bring somebody back from the dead.
Yeah,
this is a
everybody would answer $1 million.
Yeah, so like you can have anything you want in the world,
and they'd say $1 million.
$1 million. It's like
in their world, $1 million is a lot.
Well, but like, why not ask for $1 trillion? Like, why $1 million? Why is that the mark that everybody is going for? It's short-sighted and small compared to what you're capable of. But how do you generate the wealth, the money, is by building something amazing. Like that should be your focus. Yes, the short term of getting out of debt. I hear you. Whatever that, if you're $1 million in debt, that's a lot, and servicing that's going to be, expensive every month. So you need to figure out that so you can start to live more comfortably. But then making $1 million your goal, I think is just, I think people who set $1 million as their goal almost never hit it.
It's just too small, or what?
No, it's just not important enough. Like, it doesn't actually mean anything to you.
Sure. But, the reason why I have monetary goals is because I took what I thought I could earn, and then I doubled it, and then I doubled it again, and that felt really uncomfortable to me. And then I thought, if I'm going to have that as cash, after taxes, what kind of person do I need to be, and what kind of life will I be able to live if I have those things? We've talked about this. This is why money still helps me frame. What type of person do I have to be able to earn that much money, and what kind of life would that money afford me? Are the two ways that I'm always looking at it.
Okay, and how is that actually helping you?
Well, we'll see.
Great.
I'll report back in a few years if I hit my goals or not.
Money can't be number one. If you make money number one, you're going to lose, and you're never going to make the money. I think people who set $1 million as a goal never hit it. It's to your point, it's who you become in the process of making that happen that's important. Paul, help! All right, we'll do our best, Paul. I'm trying to boss so many social media pages. I need help. Should I focus on just one page for all my subjects?
Wow, it sounds like you're spread a little thin. Taking too much on, spread a little thin, can't feel like you're doing a good job on everything. I know what that's like because I was saying that to Evan earlier this week, and he told me to stop complaining that everybody's in this boat. So I would start with what are you trying to achieve? Like, what is your goal? Is your goal to do a whole bunch of pages really, really badly? Is your goal to try and build a community? Is your goal to try and have as much coverage or as many people seeing you as possible? Like, whatever your goal is, you need to say, like, I have one goal. And I found myself with all of these pages. I have to manage all of these things. So you have to try and triage. Which are the things you can cut away that are not helping you achieve your goal? And even though you want to do it, even though you feel like you should do it, you can't do it. It's not helping you achieve your goal. And what are the things you must do to achieve that goal? I can't tell you whether you should do a whole bunch of pages, focus on one or whatever it might be, because I don't know what you're trying to accomplish. But you know your goal. Focus on that one thing. Think about what will help you achieve it, and cut everything else out.
Yeah. I think you should focus on one thing. I think you should figure out how to get one of these platforms to the point where it's generating money for you so that you can afford to hire a team or one person to help you now build this thing in the area that you don't like. I don't know what you love about making the content. Maybe you love the graphic design of it. Maybe you love the ideation. Maybe you love the creative. Maybe you love just the strategy. Maybe you love the video. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that you don't like, and we can tell just from, you're overwhelmed right now because you're doing everything, because you're writing the copy and doing the pictures and the videos and the hashtags, and figure out what you don't want to do inside of that. And then your next step is to be able to bring on somebody who can do that part for you so you can focus more in on what you're great at and love doing. But that doesn't happen if you're trying to run 8 different accounts at the same time and suck in everywhere.
But I love what you're saying, because this can be applied to every aspect of every single business.
Sure.
Whether replace pages with, or social media with like team or hiring or sales or whatever it is, what you're saying is focus on the things that you love the most, and really limit that focus. Earn the money you need to earn so you can hire the people to help you with other things, and that can be applied to any part of any business.
Yeah, so you have your vision for what you want to create, and that's a lifetime vision. And then you figure out what can I do right now to start building this thing up so that I can bring some money in, doing work that I love, and then bring on people to replace me so that I can continue to push. Because yes, for business opportunities, yes, for social media pages, yes, for all of it. Every entrepreneur is stretched too thin. Because because we see the potential for where everything can go, but we're not doing the work to actually focus in on what we're great at. Like if you're running 8 different accounts, and I just said 8, I don't know how many I don't know, Paul, how many you're running. But if you're running 8 different accounts at the same time, you're probably sucking everywhere as opposed to being great at something. And it's really hard to build a business when you suck, right? So if you're sucking everywhere, it's hard to build a great business. But if you're doing a really, really great job, even at one little piece of it, that gives you the flexibility to then go harder on it and build a team to help you actually build and scale. Pick your pose wants to go back to money. Okay. It's extremely important. I don't like it when people with enough money says it wasn't everything. I don't care if you like it. It's what it is. Money was never everything. It's never everything. If you make money everything, you are going to lose and never have money and never be happy, period. Period. I don't care if you like it or not. You should be listening to people who have a lot of money. If that's what one of your goals is, you should be listening to them because they can mentor you and guide you. Look at this last question we just asked for Paul. I told him he needs to focus so he can make money, so he can build and scale this business. But money is not the number one. If you make money everything above all else, you will never get it. And it's one of the most common lessons that come up from all the people that I profile and talk about. It's something that I want you to burn into your head, because this mindset you've got right now is keeping you poor.
How much money were you making when you first started your business?
$300 a month.
My first year in my business, my wife and I, our household income went below the poverty line. We made $18,000 that year, and the government put us on social assistance. We didn't have a choice about it, so I was okay with that, I guess. But we made so little money that the government came and was like, hey, you have a kid, you have a wife, you have to go on social assistance. So it's not like we've always had money either.
She said I was talking to Mark. But
sure.
But when I'm making $300 a month, or when Mark is living, getting social assistance because he's below the poverty line, again, this is a common trend too. For if you look at people who've gone off and made it, entrepreneurs are the ones who generate. Like if you look at self-made peoples, it's typically entrepreneurs, not inherited wealth, not like your grandfather was rich or something and left you a whole bunch. And most of your heroes started with nothing. They started with nothing. And money is important. If money is not one of your priorities, then you'll never make money. And this is another problem that a lot of entrepreneurs have, that you never charge for your services. You never charge for your products. You never make what you're worth. And then you're stuck working some job that you hate and only doing your business on the side because you can never figure out how to turn into something that makes money. So you have to prioritize money. It's just not number one. It can't be everything. All of your heroes, look at your heroes. Go look at their story. Go read their bios. Go listen to their interviews. They want to do something to do it. And then they find a way to make money doing it. Can't be everything.
I knew if we started talking about money in really personal ways, it would spur some conversation.
No, I think it's important. Okay, what do we got? Neon clothing. Hope I got that right. How to try passions during lockdown. Passions during lockdown.
Anything that you for me, what it comes down to is what is it that you love about the thing that you love. So my wife, for example, she wants to be a personal trainer, and she was about to get a job, and then the lockdown happened. All the gyms are shut down. She's an actress, and she sings, and she was part of plays, and all of her plays were shut down. So she can't be a part of a theater group, and she can't be in plays because it's not happening. She can't go work at a gym because it's not happening. But when we looked at what she loved about being part of a group or theater, she loved community and she loved performance. She could do that in all kinds of places. What she loved about the idea of being a physical trainer is working with people and helping them see progress. She could do that in all kinds of places. So even though she's thinking, I have to be in a gym, I have to be on a stage, what she really loves is community and performance. And what she really loves is pushing people and helping them hit their goals. Can that happen on social media? Can that happen by, I suggested her starting a YouTube channel where she just sings covers of songs and builds a community. Can she be part of a theater group that meets in a park just for fun and do improv? Of course she can. So what your passions, the things that you love and want to try and want to do, you're probably thinking about what you can't do. But what is it that you love? What attracts you to those things? And then figure out how you can do that today, right now, with whatever it is that you have. And it'll start to feed your soul. It'll start to excite you. And it'll start to get you to a place where you won't be looking at what you don't have, but you'll just be really, really thankful for the passions that you're pursuing with what you do have.
Yeah, use this time to explore, right? I mean, whatever it is, I don't know what your passions are, but you've got a couple. You've got some that are in your head. Use this chance to taste, to test, to try. Go watch YouTube videos that talk about it. Go join somebody's IG Live where they're talking about it. There's always a smaller way to start right now, right? That may be hard to see. Like you might think, well, my dream is to have a restaurant. How do I start small with that during the lockdown?
Start practicing recipes and cooking and researching and coming up with a menu.
But that's the thing, right? Like exactly.
Fun.
And there's a million different ways. Like go start researching videos on people who've started restaurants successfully. Go start reading books on how to start a restaurant. Like whatever it is that you want. This is where I think a lot of people struggle. And I want to hopefully make a breakthrough with this question here from Neon. You have a big dream and you see people who've made it. And like, I want that. But you can't make the connection to say, how do I get that? And you just see all the reasons why you're not able to get there. You need to tap into your resourcefulness and say that it is possible and ask the same question, just with a different intonation. Most people come and say, well, how can I do that during Corona, during lockdown, right? How do I try my passion during lockdown? And flip it to, how do I try my passions during lockdown? And as soon as you swap it to, it's actually possible, your genius brain will start finding answers.
I love that so much.
You like that so much?
I know Tony Robbins talks about asking yourself the questions you ask yourself, like, why am I such an idiot? Why am I such an idiot? Well, your brain's going to tell you and you'll feel bad. Or you talk about, like, if you just ask yourself a question, your brain will try and come up with the answer. So I've never heard anyone explain it that way, but I love the idea of, how do I do this? As opposed to like, oh, how could I do this? To like, how? Like just sincerely asking yourself, your brain will 100% work to try and problem solve for you.
And like it by Neon Clothing here bringing it up, they want an answer, right? You want an answer. This is the answer. And today you could start, right? And don't people feel like, oh, well, watching a video, that's not actually doing what I want to do. You're worried about, like, again, what's that perfect step? There's no perfect step. By researching success, by starting your own recipes, it feels small. you don't give yourself enough credit. If you want to start a restaurant and Mark Draper says,
Drager.
go make
Drager.
go make kitchen recipes, you're like, that's so small, Mark. That's not gonna get me to where I need to go. But that's the whole point. Like, you're trying to take some big step.
Yeah.
What you need is the little steps. What you need is the momentum. That's what's missing. I love it. Pick Your Pose is saying, wow, stop. I guess not happy with our conversation on the money. Hey, Pick Your Pose, honestly, it's all love for you. I love you. I know you've been in other conversations as well. The level of aggressiveness on that was you saying that you don't like it when people with money say that it wasn't everything. Like, I love you. I'm aggressively against that one specific thought that you came up with, because you really need to let that go for you to actually go off and build a business and make money. Mad love, mad props. We appreciate you being here. Let's hit one more. We got one more, Mark? You got time?
We got 4 minutes.
Okay, what do we got? Adarsh Stark saying, what inspired you to do your work every day?
It's not even what inspired me, it's what inspires me today, because it's going to change, right? I started my business in 2006, and I was doing what I was doing before that. And so when I started, the inspiration for me was just, I wanted to do my own thing. Can I do my own thing? And then it was, can I be good enough? Can I prove, if we talk about something to prove podcast, I always feel like I have something to prove. Can I prove to the world that I'm capable of starting this and of doing this, of keeping it going? Can I be good enough to create a place where people want to work at, that are so much better than me, and I can be inspired by them? Can I build the wealth or the life that I want? Can I be a role model for my kids and my family? I think, Evan reminds me of this often, your one word, right? He talked about how great of a book it is, I think, last week on the podcast.
Right.
If you believe that we all have one word that basically represents us, the thing that we're striving towards and the thing that we'll never get enough of, the lens that we use to look at the world, my one word is extraordinary. And so I spend a lot of time wanting the most extraordinary things, to do extraordinary things and to be an extraordinary person. And at the same time, I feel completely average and mediocre, and it weighs me down. And so for me today, the thing that inspires me the most is, can I live up to the potential that I really have? Can I actually be extraordinary? Or will I get sucked into the mediocre, average existence that I want to fight against and I do not want to be a part of?
For me, it's just feeling like the work that I do matters. That I want to show up today and do something that is meaningful, and not go to sleep feeling like I wasted the day. Even on rough days, like today has been a rough day. I didn't go to sleep till 6 a.m. this morning.
I was wondering, because you emailed me at 5:57, and I was like, wow, you're up early. I was awake.
Dude,
you hadn't gone to sleep yet.
Rough night. Like, Nina was tossing and turning, and it just, I couldn't fall asleep, and then my legs got jumpy and just a disaster. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get up and do some stuff. So I went to sleep at 6 a.m, and then I woke up at 11 something, and I started my morning routine at 11:30, which is like atypical, right? That's not a typical F and Carmichael morning, but still woke up, still started doing my morning routine. I still hit everything that I normally do in my morning routine, even though it was almost the afternoon now, because I don't want to waste a day. And I want to show up and try to create content, wisdom, advice, shifts as much as possible to try to help entrepreneurs believe in themselves more, right? Your purpose comes from your pain. And so when you recognize what that purpose is for yourself, and then you felt like every day you are actually making progress towards realizing it, even in a little way, I think that's what gets you motivated. On a day like today, right? It's easy to be motivated when you're inspired and you're, had tons of sleep and everything's going right. It's days like today when it's hard that you still show up, and it's your purpose that drives you to push you forward.
Amazing.
All right. Okay, Mark, people want to listen to the Something to Prove podcast. Where are they going?
Best place to find us is on Apple Podcasts, Google Stitcher, Play, Premium, whatever. All of those places where you can find an audio podcast, we are listed. Something to Prove podcast.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend. See you Monday.
Ciao.
Believe.